like a crab in a rock. You gotta run real fast, you gotta run real fast. Keep your eyes on the wave now, never turn your back. Woo! A P-man in the sun. P-man, grab your bags and run. A P-man, another swell is coming your way. It's breakfast with Bob. It's breakfast with Bob.
And Poncho Man. Welcome everybody, day 3. My name is Bob Babbitt. We are brought to you by EAS Sports Nutrition, by Hoka One One, by our best buddies at Polar, by Oscar Wellness, Velo Fix, and Four Seasons Hualalai. We are airing on triathlonworld.com. Our next guest, 7th here last year, a perennial top 5, top 10 guy, has finished as high as 2nd, Mr. Eneko Llanos. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Good. Hey, well, 7th place last year. You had to be happy with that.
Yes, I was happy, especially my previous results those years were bad, so to be again in the top 10 was good.
Yes.
Still not my best race, but it was good to be 4th after the bike and to have a decent run and to stay in the top 10.
What I love is when I look back at your career, when you first tried to do Ironman racing, you didn't have a lot of success right away, didn't you? Like DNF, the first 3? Mm-hmm. Was it the first 3?
Yeah, first 3 at DNF. I had injuries, I had stomach problems, I had all kind of problems at the beginning.
Yes.
But then my 4th one was the good one. I got 2nd in Ironman Western Australia.
Now
I think it was 2005.
Now, was your brother in that race?
No, he wasn't in that race. We raced together next year.
Yes, the following year. Yes.
Yeah, we were second and 3rd in Ironman Austria.
And he got 2nd.
He got 2nd. Yeah. He was better than me.
So does he still give you crap about that? He beat you?
No, not that much. So yeah, and then after those first years that like trying to adapt to the distance and the training, and then I was good again, and I could compete better in the Ironman distance.
What was you had a 2nd here? Was it? Do you look at that as the best day that you had here? Because sometimes you can have a place that's great, but other days you felt better or you felt like you raced better.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that probably that was one of my best races. I raced well. I took the lead on the run.
Yes.
But Crowe was coming from behind really fast, and when he passed me, I couldn't follow him. But I was still able to keep that 2nd place, and probably that's my best race here.
And you've had still 6 Ironman wins. 6 Ironman wins, 2 sub 8s.
Could be 6. Yeah, I don't have it in my mind right now, but I think it's
6 Ironman wins, a 2-time sub 8, Ironman Frankfurt champion. Right,
yeah.
That's when you win Frankfurt, that's the field is always so deep there that's that always speaks well to racing here. When the transition for you, you're 2-time Olympian, 2000 and 2004. Making that switch from the Olympics to the longer distance, like you said, you had some DNFs early on. How hard was that for you?
Yeah, it was hard, especially because I was doing well in training, but I wasn't doing well in the competition, and that's a little bit frustrating when you feel you are doing everything right and still you go to the start line, you start racing, and maybe at half on the bike or at the start of the round you start feeling bad. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what's happening, and that's a little bit frustrating because you work hard for this. You train a lot of hours, and when you don't get that result you think you deserve, or at least when you're not able to show your fitness and to show your capability in racing, that's a little bit frustrating. But once I got that first 2nd place, and once I finished my first Ironman, then everything changed. And still I had a couple of bad races, but then it was a matter of learning and adapting to the distance. The training is different, the way you compete is different, so everything was new for me, for my coach at that time. So we needed sometimes maybe longer than we wanted, but it took us some time to find the way to do the things correctly and to race well. So yeah, it was a little bit frustrating,
Sure.
but at the end we got there. Yeah.
And the first time you raced this was 2006, is that right? And you were 5th place.
Yeah.
So first time out, you're
First
like,
time.
what's the big deal? This is no big deal.
Yeah. I think sometimes when you do races for the first time, it's easier, like, because not easy, but yeah, you have not expectation. And I was riding in the front group, and I was running in the top 10, so it was like, yeah, you have no expectation, and you see yourself competing for the race and competing with the big names and the big guys in the Ironman racing. So that makes it easier on the mind. You have no expectation. You just do your thing,
right.
and yeah, you enjoy it very much. Even much than maybe later when you come back here. You know you've been fifth. You know you expect more from yourself. You know people expect more from you, and that makes things more complicated.
So you're a daddy now, for a couple years. Does that, coming home after workout when you're feeling, oh gosh, I didn't have a good workout, being a daddy makes all that stuff go away?
Yeah, that changed everything. There is no Ironman win, no
he doesn't care.
Race, no race wins. That's better than that. So yeah, I think that obviously life changes, but also mentality changes a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, of course, on Saturday I want to do my best race, and I want to compete well, but I mean, then if that something happens, you come back and you know that there are things more important in life, and that's very fulfilling too, and that's right now is the most important thing.
Is he over here?
No,
not this time.
No, this time.
Because you got a couple years ago, I think you got sick.
Yeah.
When he was over here.
Yeah.
After you sort of a newborn. What is it about this race? Because you've had a lot of success here, right? What is it about this race that you like and that works for you?
Well, what I like is that I think it's a fair race. I mean, lately you see a lot of complaints about drafting, about this, about the other, and here I think the race is fair for everybody.
Yeah.
I like that everybody is here. This is the race. I mean, everybody's here in the best shape and wanted to do their best race here. So the competition is like no other races. So that makes the race more intense, more difficult also, but also more interesting for me at least. You learn a lot every time you race here, and it's always a lot of motivation to race against the best in the world. So
you've raced here since 2006. You started. You were in the Olympics, the first ever Olympics in 2000 for the sport. So you've been racing a long time. How have you kept it fresh? How are you still excited about the process? Because it's not like you just come to Kona. You've got to do a lot of training to get here.
Yes, and well, I think that for me, what works best is to take some good rest after big races. For example, after Kona, I take a good rest. I do different things. I ride my mountain bike. I run on the trails. I disconnect a little bit from Ironman racing and for triathlon, and that helps me to keep fresh. Also, doing different races. I've been racing Xterra. I've been racing winter triathlon. Yes, you have. Doing all that kind of things gives a lot of variety into our life and routine. So you do different kind of things, and that helps you, I think, to keep things fresh and to be still motivated to race, to train and race and compete. And you've done a bunch of Xterra racing too. And what's the difference when you're doing those things are pretty intense, right? And on the bike you can't just relax, right? It's a different game. Talk a little bit about the difference between racing Maui and the Xterra World Championships and racing here. Yeah, well, for me right now, racing on Xterra is much more relaxed because my focus is in the Ironman. So
Yes.
I just like I have more pressure on myself for doing well in Ironman.
Yes.
And then maybe an Xterra race is I think I do more for fun. So still I want to race well, do well. If I race, I'm not racing this year, but if I race in the future, is because I want to do a fun race and have fun. And that's the difference. I think it's here. Even if you try to be relaxed and calm and take some pressure off, it's still Kona, it's still Hawaii. So it's a difficult thing to do, and you always get a little bit more nervous than in other races. So when I do a different kind of racing, it's like, for example, Xterra is like something different in my racing and something more for the fun of doing it.
So when you see Javier Gomez and you see Mario Mola, I mean, they probably grew up watching Eneko Llanos racing, and they're some of the best guys in the world who've been world champions, and they've done everything. Does that give you a little pride that here these guys they're sort of following in my footsteps a little bit?
Yeah, well, these guys are amazing. Right now, they are the best in Olympic distance, and I don't know if we've been my generation has been an inspiration for them or not. But yeah, I was in the first Olympics, and I guess that image or that event gave them some motivation and something to work for in the future. And obviously they are in a much better level than I was, and they are both Javier and Mario are world champions, so they are the best in the world. But yes, I guess, or at least I would like to. I want to think that in some way I influenced them.
When you look back at that, people don't realize it now because triathlon's been in the Olympics for a while. But when you were in the first ever Olympic triathlon, and that gave the event, the sport, so much credibility. What was that experience like, being in that first Olympic triathlon in Sydney, which is triathlon crazy?
It was amazing. The crowds were crazy. They were cheering a lot. I remember riding on the bike and having all this noise in the head. Like, it was totally crazy, and it was an amazing race. It was so emotive.
Yes.
For us to be in the first Olympics in Sydney, it was like we felt like we were making history in the triathlon.
Yeah.
So I remember walking to the pontoon, and it was hard to not to cry because it was really, really, really a very emotive moment.
Because the sport was still fairly young at that point. And did the fact that it became an Olympic sport, did that change the perception of the sport in Spain? That all of a sudden people start looking at you guys differently because now you're in the Olympics?
Yeah, obviously being in the Olympics Games gives to your sport some kind of credibility or more importance. I think that Sydney and Athens were these two events where thanks to these events the triathlon started growing a lot in Spain. Now it's getting really, really big. It's a big sport, and thanks also to these guys like Javier
and Mario.
They are giving a lot of publicity to our sport, and they are famous athletes in Spain right now.
So the sport is bigger now in Spain.
Yeah.
With yourself, with Mario Mola, with Javier Gomez, because of the success all of you guys have had. The sport are there more events and more people participating?
Yeah, there's a lot of people participating. In the last 3-4 years, the increase in participants has been amazing. Yeah. Most of the races are sold out, like half a year in advance. We have a lot of fantastic events in Spain.
Yes.
The sport is right now in Spain is growing a lot, and it's a really very interesting moment for the triathlon in Spain.
What I think is going to be fascinating is next year at the Ironman 70.3 World Championships, besides people like yourself and Jan Frodeno and Sebastian Kienle, we'll probably see Javier Gomez and potentially Mario Mola, and that could help take the sport to another level, right? I mean, we're going to see number of these Olympic guys stepping up, I'm assuming, the year after the Olympics and doing some 70.3s at least. What do you think?
Yeah, usually after the Olympics is where I start doing triathlon.
That's when you
after
started.
Athens. So
Yes.
After the Olympic cycle is when people start thinking in different things.
Sure.
When athletes want to try different things. And yes, I'm sure that next year we will see a lot of these guys racing 70.3 and maybe an Ironman too.
We'll
see.
That. Yeah, that'd be great. We'll have three Spaniards in the top 10 at some of these races. That'd be really cool. Eneko, have a great race. What would it mean to you to win this race? And what do you think it would mean to Spain for you to win this race?
Well, it would be it would be a great thing. Obviously, it will be my. It's a cliche, but it's a dream. It would be a dream come true. I've been focusing this race for the last 10, 11 years. This is my 11th time here. So it would be like a way to close maybe
close a chapter of your career,
and with a great finish, obviously. But yeah, it would be amazing. In Spain was, I think, a lot of people is already following this race.
Yes,
the coverage is going to be followed by a lot of people there, and this race is already very well known. Everybody is waiting to Saturday. It's late in the night in Spain, but we know that a lot of people is going to be there waiting for the finish line maybe at 2-3 a.m. in the morning. So yeah, and if I win it, and or for example, Ivan Raña, the Spanish guy, is in the first places or with a chance to win, and all these people is going to be enjoying it very much.
I love it. Eneko, always a pleasure to chat with you.
Thank you very much.
Pancho Man, take us out.
P-Man in the sun, P-Man grab your bags and run. P-Man, another swell is coming your way. It's breakfast with Bob. It's breakfast with Bob. It's breakfast with Bob.
Woo!